A Caro-Kann. Advance. I think I'm good to trade that. I feel like that's all the bishop is supposed to do. Coming out here is just trade away. I think I can go for that pretty early too. Okay. I'll be able to target this pawn now. I think maybe c3 should have happened instead of that queen check. I could be wrong about that though. Yeah, the early c5 to get the c file open for this rook. And that's that. Okay, it looks like I'm just winning a pawn in the center. I can capture the bishop. Knight takes e5. That looks alright to me. I might be taking a little long to castle, but I don't think that will be a big deal. Rook e1 and yeah, if I develop the bishop to e7, I just don't want any, like, I don't want this pawn to be pinned to my king or to my bishop, because this will be undefended after I castle. So I don't like bishop e7, bishop d6. It's a little awkward. Now when the rook comes to c8, I'll have a lot of pressure on that knight on c3. Maybe. Yeah, castling feels good though. And I think this knight has to retreat now. Unless maybe a3 was an option. I will just go ahead and take. Because this looks pretty easy to target. And this is a nice outpost for the knight now. Spectacular. Plan to double rooks and really gang up on this. think I've got time to push this. Set up a little trap. Now I've got a new target. And we get rook c4. Like, yeah, white's trying to start something over here. That makes a lot of sense. Since this pawn is pushed, now I have a new outpost for my knight, though, at e4. Let's try and bring it over there. That's attacking c3, and on f2 there are some options as well. This push I'm not sure if I need to be concerned about. f5, knight e4 threatens knight d2, picking up the rook. Okay, I don't think this works. I guess the knight is going here. Maybe it's just more pressure on f5. But now I actually come to e4 with a tempo, I think. And the knight on e4 covers d6 as well, if the knight ever even tried to get there. Yeah, covering d2, stopping this nonsense. But I can snatch this pawn. With tempo now, and then maybe I return. I might even have some tricks over here. Oh, that doesn't work. I'm gonna win this rook. Check, king a3, and a big fork. With the knight, threatening c2 as well. Covers about everything. Probably throw in this in-between move. And then we can retreat with a check. Although maybe that's just getting in the way of my rooks. there are some checkmate ideas now. I think the king has to retreat, which is, oh, there we go. A good game. I'm not going to do the rematch, just going to check it out. Let's turn off the book for a sec. This I think I've all seen before. I think my other options are like developing some of the knights, but I want to say the early push is pretty good. Just pushing this as soon as possible, maybe. Then the queen up to protect b7. I think that all makes sense. Maybe c3 here? Just so this pawn's not left alone. Feel like it's not as easy to attack d4 as it is to attack e5. But I could totally be making that up. I don't get this. Maybe that could be castles instead. Bishop c5 might have worked as well. I don't really know the difference between bishop b4 and bishop c5. Well, b4... No, I picked b4 because there weren't any squares for the knights to sort of kick the bishop away. On c5, I could get forced to move immediately. But I guess that is just winning a pawn. I wonder... Okay, this might have been awkward because that would be it's opening up my my king a little bit. Kick the bishop away. Maybe this works. That allows the knight to move afterwards. Yeah. That's pretty awkward. But I guess that wins a piece. I think I've got the right variation here. We'll see what Mr. Fish thinks afterwards. I guess this is all just showing that this was a safe move. And I don't think this little trick works. Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about all that. Yeah, I thought this was forcing the knight back so I could capture it and double some pawns. And I guess either... If white tries to kick the bishop away first, I can just retreat along whichever diagonal the knight would be retreating to, sort of keep my idea, I think. forcing white to create another target that's easy-ish to attack. Now another passive rook. There you have it. I guess it's computer time? I've done a little analysis at least. I think I sort of felt like I did really well the entire time. So, not as much to look into as last game. Okay, that looks about right. I was a bit too worried about getting castled. I had plenty of time to snatch this pawn. Apparently. Knight takes g4. Right? Castle long. Instead of even spending that extra move to castle short. I'm not sure about this one. That's just winning another pawn. Looks like it might be just winning another pawn. By not doing that, I'm allowing white to... Oh. I guess... Trade... No, nothing's getting traded. I guess black still has a perfect position, or, you know, a really good position. Yeah, I'm not too sure what the difference is here. Snatching more pawns, I guess. So that's a bit of a theme in this game. Not taking as many pawns as I could. Yeah, c3 to try and back up this pawn eventually? Maybe? Oh, okay. Okay, so not too many mistakes. Looks like just not snatching enough material. I guess my mindset wasn't aggressive enough, maybe. But I think that's the big takeaway. We'll look at the opening. I think that's next. The Master Games. Bishop f5 seems normal. Bishop d3. Nobody plays that. But taking it looks good. E6 looks good. Knight f3. C5 looks good. And this game, C3 was played, okay. So it is only now, as of move 9, that we have a completely new game. As far as the Masters go. I'm sure this, yeah. Over 150 times this position's been reached. So in this game, yeah, black wanted it. Oh, black tried to draw it, but ended up winning. Yeah, a lot of play on the queen side. Oh. Looks like they just made a passer. We'll see if that's what wins it eventually. No, maybe this isn't the best game to look at. Clearly I'm not looking at it too in depth, but that's looks like there was a lot of pressure against the white king on the queen side. Use the c-file, push the pawns really far. That's something I didn't quite do in my game. But I had different pawn structure. So I think I can safely claim I played with the right ideas. And the opening was all good for black. Bring the rook out a bit early. I don't know if it's even worth trying to memorize these moves or look at these exact lines either. Yeah, rook c8, knight c6, pretty similar. Either way, c3 is what gets played. That looks like a big turning point. Losing those center pawns. So that's a good thing to remember. In this advanced Caro-Kann, getting rid of these pawns is a big deal. That made my game really easy. Playing c3 looks like that's pretty important. Don't forget to do that, playing white. And focused play on the queen side for sure. I like it. I feel much better about this one than the last one. Fantastic.